Good morning, welcome to Full Time Sports Network. I'm Bobby, and today we are talking Women's Super League. This is the season preview and a transfer roundup of all transfers in and out of the 12 clubs that take part in the Women's Super League. Sorry about the lateness, it was scheduled for last week. Obviously, the fixtures got changed. I then rescheduled it. I rescheduled it for 10 o'clock this morning. I had a meeting. I couldn't get out of that meeting. So I'm right here right now. Go into the comments. Big up to Colm. Hope you're doing well, mate. But yeah, so we are going to talk WSL. Now, I'm going to do this for people that know WSL, know what we're talking about. And then I'm also going to do this for people that are new to it. So, WSL is a league. You've got the Super League, then you've got the Championship that's just below it, and then you've got the Football National League, which is split up into North and South sections. It's very similar to the National League in the Men's League, where you've got, so basically you've got the Championship, and then you've got two leagues just below it, which is the Northern section and the Southern section. Two clubs get promoted from those. They go into the Championship, and then they've got a chance to go into the Super League. Only one gets promoted. Last season it was Liverpool, but we'll get into that. And we'll go into who won the FA Cup last season, which was Chelsea. They beat Man City on penalties. And the champions of the Super League last season was Chelsea. I have got the table here. Let's just quickly share it with you, so you can all see, and also go through the teams that tend to be in there as well. Hopefully this is the right one. I've got so many tabs open. I've got so much information to share with you. Right, so this is the last season's Women's Super League. We've got Chelsea, the winners. They won it by a point. I personally think that they were a very good team. Don't get me wrong. They were obviously the better team of the whole season. But Arsenal did slip up close to the season. They drew against someone that they should have beaten. And yeah, that would have given them the extra 2 points that would have won them the title. As you can see there, Arsenal played 22, won 17, drew 4, lost just one game last season. But if they hadn't drawn that game that they should have won last season, they would have won the league. But anyway, Chelsea came first, Arsenal second, Man City third, fourth for Manchester United, fifth for Tottenham, sixth for West Ham, seventh for Brighton, eighth for Reading, ninth for Aston Villa, 10th Everton, Leicester City, 11th, and then Birmingham City were 12th, got relegated. And the team that replaced them is, let me just show you that screen as well, because I have got everything on ready. It's just finding the right screen at the right time, which is never that easy. There we go. We've got Liverpool women winning it quite easily, 11 points. And you got these are the other teams that are down in the Championship. I believe there's 12 also in this one, but this one you got two teams that get relegated. So you got London City, Bristol City, Crystal Palace have got a women's team, Charlton Athletic, Durham, Sheffield United lose, or Lee, I don't know how you even say that, to be honest. Sunderland, Blackburn Rovers, Coventry, and Watford. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting season with Liverpool coming up this season, I have to say. Have they strengthened enough? I think that will be okay to avoid the relegation, but we'll get into that anyway. So we're going to go team by team now, and then go from there. And then right at the end, we'll go into the fixtures. Obviously, the first fixture has been postponed, so that will be at a later date. It was meant to be Arsenal Man City. I was meant to be covering it. Unfortunately, it got postponed. I will be covering the game Arsenal versus Brighton on Friday. But again, I'll get into all this, what I can cover and what I can't, because sadly fixtures clash with other fixtures. It can be quite hard sometimes. But let's get into sharing. Colm's asking, Manchester United Women Football Club the team to beat. No, they're not. Chelsea are always the team to beat. Then it's Arsenal. Then it's Man City. United tend to be the fourth best team. I know it's going to be hard for you to hear, Colm. There's no lovely bright light on the horizon, even in the women's team. They are about the fourth best team always. But I will get into that because I've got some interesting points in Manchester United myself that I think they could possibly push a little bit further up, and I'll get into the reasons why I think they might this season. But let's get into sharing, firstly, Arsenal's transfer window. So, now, from if you guys watched the women's Euros, you probably know most of the names for the Arsenal women's. You've got Leah Williamson, you've got Beth Mead, you've got. Oh, I've just stopped sharing that screen. I was meant to take that off. Colm is obsessed. He is a United fan, just in case you did not know. Say that they are the best women's football club in the world. I will definitely disagree with that one. I struggle saying that it's Chelsea. I wish I was wrong, but unfortunately I'm not. Emma Hayes is probably one of the best coaches in the world, and I am comparing all football, men's, women's. She is an amazing coach. She gets the best out of a team there. But let's get into the Arsenal's transfer window. Not so many coming in. Lena Hurtig, fantastic Euros for Sweden. She was brilliant as a winger. I honestly do think that this is probably making Arsenal's front line the most scary to look at. You're going to have Beth Mead, Blackstenius, you're going to have Hurtig, and just behind those three, you're going to have Miedemeijer from the Netherlands. Amazing, world-class attacking midfielder, playmaker. She is fantastic. I quite like, me personally, because I'm an Arsenal fan myself, signing Kaylin Marquise is a very wise move. Zingerberger, who's the Arsenal women's goalkeeper now, she has a lot of faults in her. She can be really good. She's had a great Euros with Austria, but she does have that little bit of what I would say, a little bit of fear. I when I watch the Arsenal women's, I watch her play and I fear sometimes that she's just going to make that error. And I don't want to be watching a game where I just know that there's a player that can cause an error like that. And she is one. So going out is Alec Hennessy. She's gone to West Ham. Tobin Heath. She's going to, I believe, a French team there. Lydia Williams has gone to Paris Saint-Germain. Fren Stenson has gone to Birmingham City. Nikita Paris, who we only just signed last season, has gone to Manchester United. Simon Sorensen has gone to Hammarby. And the other new signing we've got is Kim Little, midfielder, signed in August. We didn't actually make any signings on deadline day. Deadline day was last week, 5th, I think it was. Something like that, 5th or 7th. Something like that, anyway. Oh, sorry. Just going to have to turn that off my phone. I'll have to get back to them. So, yeah. Sorry, I'm just going to turn this off now. Just 2 seconds. There we go. Right. Now I can concentrate. Right. So, yeah, that's the Arsenal one. Good morning, Errol. Hope you're doing well. So, yeah, that's the Arsenal. Right. Let's get into sharing Aston Villa, who are the next club we're going to talk about now. Let's get into their screen. Let's get into it. Okay, right. Now they've made a lot of signings, has to be said. They have signed Kirsty Hansen, midfielder. Rachel Daly, saying forward here. We know her as a left back for England. Kenza Darley, midfielder from Everton. Freya Gregory, midfielder from Leicester City. Natasha Harding, midfielder again from Reading. Anna Leet, goalkeeper from West Ham. Simone McGill, Everton, forward. Emily Syme, midfielder, Sheffield United. Daniel Turner, Everton. Going out is Petzelberger. She's gone to Tottenham. Alicia Undal has gone to Charlton. Emily Syme, Chloe Arthur, Sophie Hayward, Sean Rogers. They have strengthened a bit, and as we can see with the league, they finished 10th, so they need to do it a bit better. To be honest, they're not the worst team in WSL by far, but they're one of those mid-table teams quite easily pushed into the relegation battles. They only finished 9 points above Birmingham. They won 5. Their goal difference was pretty poor, -23. So I think they've done enough, but I'm not totally convinced by them for next season, I have to say. But we'll see. We'll see what they do. So yeah, that's Everton. They are, as I said, they are a decent team. They're just not. They're very similar to the men's status at the moment, where they're an okay team. They're a team that you probably should be able to beat, but on their day they could probably cause you a bit of a shock. So yeah, that's Everton. Let's get into Brighton. Oh no, don't want to do that one. Pressing the wrong buttons now. Let's find Brighton on the list. There we go. There's Brighton's window. Now they have done something that is a little bit more shocking. They did finish 7th. They finished a very decent mid-table. But what they have done, weirdly, is they've weakened. So they've brought in Georgia Fox from Chelsea. Good signing. Poppy Patterson, good signing again. Rebecca Stott. She is an interesting player. She is Australian. We all know that the Australian women's are very good. So, but I'm not 100% sure how much that's going to improve Everton personally. We'll have to wait and see. Elizabeth Turland, forward. She's coming from SK Braun. The weakened part is the bit that does concern me a little bit. Letitia, a defender, she's gone to Manchester United. And the other big one that stands out to me from there is Koivusto. She plays for Finland. Now, she's gone to Liverpool, which is a great signing for Liverpool. And you're thinking, okay, Liverpool are going big. Well, we'll get into Liverpool. But I just feel that Brighton have weakened a little bit too much. I've just realised I've talked about Aston Villa and I was talking about Everton. I apologise about that. I've just realised I was talking about Aston Villa and I was meant to be talking. Yeah. Let's just scrap that. That was Aston Villa I was talking about. Aston Villa, not Everton. I don't know why I got Everton in my head. But anyway, we're talking about Brighton now. So I'll get back into Aston Villa in a minute. So yeah, I don't know how much they might have weakened it. We should wait and see. They've had a decent season. Finished 7th. So let's get back into Aston Villa, who I was talking about, but for some reason I had Everton in my head. Okay, so Aston Villa, the one previously, was... Let's just get back into their ones, because I feel bad now because I've just said the wrong team. Right, so this is the Aston Villa one. I don't know why I had Everton in my head. For some reason I've got Everton in my head. Probably because there's Everton quite a few times on the screen. Right, so Aston Villa signed 3 players from Everton. Right, okay, that's where I probably got confused. Aston Villa finished 7th, I think. Hang on, let's have a look. No, they finished 9th. Okay, so they finished 1 point more than Everton. They won 6, drew 3, lost 13. They are one of those teams you're just going to tend to beat, to be honest, Aston Villa. Yeah, they're one of those decent teams again. They're a mid. To be honest, Everton and Aston Villa, both their men's and women's, are in the same kind of status at the moment. I'd say, where they're decent. That's about it. Most teams are going to beat you, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. So we've done Brighton, we've done Aston Villa now. Let's get into Chelsea. Chelsea are the ones. Are the big guns in the WSL. Now, they have had a very interesting summer window, have to say. Okay, so they have brought in 9 players. 2 of them stand out with big. Oh, no, actually, 3 of them stand out big. Okay, so we've got Kaneryd, who's coming, Swedish international, coming from BK Häcken. Now, that's going to add more threat to the Chelsea lineup that already had plenty of threat. You know, they've got Sam Kerr, brilliant, absolutely fantastic attacking midfielder, striker, pretty much anything attacking wise, she will play it. She is absolutely fantastic, Sam Kerr. They've also brought in Kadisha Buchanan, who is a Canadian defender. Now, for anyone that knows us on Full Time Sports Network, we've got a Canadian that helps us with content called Moss. Now, he will always big up the Canadian women, but to be fair, they are pretty good. They are managed by John Herdman, who is an English guy, and the Canadian women are very good. So to actually have a Canadian in their side says one thing about Chelsea, but it also says a lot about the WSL, that they're managing to bring in this type of caliber of signing. You know, to sign Kadisha Buchanan from Lyon is a fantastic signing. And the other one that stands out to me is Perisset. She played in the Euros for France, played very well. Very good right back, attacking, very dangerous. As for the exits, don't think there's any really big names there that Joanna Anderson, she played in the Euros, decent centre half, but they've brought in Buchanan. So for Chelsea, I don't think they've got much to worry about. They are definitely going to be challenging, definitely for me. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Let's actually get into Everton now. That might be a good idea. Let's actually talk about Everton. Let's just share the right screen. There we go. Okay, so we've got some interesting signings. I wouldn't say they're exciting, but they've basically covered anyone that's left. Really, that's what I would say. There's no one on that list that is exciting to me. There's nothing on there that's alarming to me, like no exits or anything like this. This is another case with very close to Aston Villa, where they are going to be okay. They're going to be all right. They will have some heavy defeats. You do that in the WSL. There are games that are sometimes won 5-6-0. Be prepared. It happens, especially against Manchester City, Arsenal, Chelsea, maybe Man United this season. We'll wait and see. There's a possibility. But yeah, we've got Stenovic, Beaver Jones, Wheeler, Vege, Holmgard, Ramsey, Snoij. I don't know how you even say that, so and Jess Park. All decent signings, but they've just basically replaced the ones that they've sold or lost, to other teams. it's a decent window. I can't say that we should be watching out for Everton this season because I don't think we should be. So let's get into that is 19-0 games. Happens in internationals more than people are aware of. There's a lot of 10-0s, 11-0s, 12-0s. It's a very interesting international sometimes, but it also is alarming how much of a gap there is in the women's leagues all over Europe. I hope that does change at some time. I hope it very, very much becomes very much like the men's leagues. I hope it does. I think our league is very, very good, very talented, got a lot of talent. I'd say the other three leagues to maybe keep an eye in Europe-wise is Germany, Spain, Italy. Did I say France? Probably did, probably didn't. So there's four. There's four decent leagues in Europe. But then you also need to look out for the Scandinavian leagues. They are actually surprisingly very talented. You've got the Swedish, you've got the Danish, and you've got the Norwegian leagues. They are actually very, very good. You know, when you get drawn with teams like Hammarby and BK Häcken in the Champions League for women, don't be like going, oh, that's going to be an easy one. Because it's not going to be. Because surprisingly, they are actually very good. So let's get into Leicester City now. There we go. Okay, Leicester have weakened a lot. And bear in mind that they finished 11th last season. This is, for me, the team to watch to get relegated. It's hard for me to admit this, but I think Leicester. It's amazing actually when I'm talking about it and I'm thinking to myself, this is very much like the Leicester men's team as well. They're having to weaken a lot, and they haven't got the money to buy new. And obviously, it is going to be the same because the teams have got the same finances. Technically, obviously they always use the same money part. Budgets are obviously very different. But if you look at here, they've brought in 4, they've sold 9. Now, there's a couple on there that I'm thinking to myself, okay, that's a bit of concern. They've sold that one. Like Esther Morgan, she's a very good defender for Leicester last season. She's been sold to Tottenham. Esme de Graaf has gone back to Feyenoord. Again, she had a very good season. And they've only managed to sign. They have signed. You know, they've gone to, you know, decent clubs. You know, you'll see they're racing Louisville, and you'd be like, who are they? MLS have got a fantastic women's football league. Like, they are some amazing teams out there. Some of them are they've got weird names because we're not used to hearing the names. So to us, they're weird. But in LMS, they're just, you know, I don't even know what it's called in America, to be honest. It might be WLS. I haven't got a clue what it's actually called in America. But yeah, so that's Leicester. That they are, for me, the team that I think will probably go down. I think they are going to struggle. It's very much similar to the men's team. They're just struggling financially, and I think that has a knock-on effect on the field. Unfortunately, it is a shame, but unfortunately, that's football. Let's get into, I think it's the newcomers, Liverpool. It is the newcomers. Okay, so they haven't done much. But then, to be fair, they had a very good team that were in the Championship. Everyone was talking about them. That they did very well. They haven't decided to go mad in the transfer market. There isn't a gap like there is between our Premier League and our Championship, between the Super League and their Championship. There isn't a huge gap. Have they strengthened enough to go very far? Probably not. I'm going to guess that they're going to be a high mid-table, maybe a 6th or a 7th. That's what I'm thinking. You know, they literally signed 3 new players. They've let a couple go. Charlotte Woodlaw has obviously gone to Chelsea FC. That might be a bit of a concern. They haven't replaced her. Maybe they've got a plan in mind where they feel they can cover that. Great if they think they have, but you know, I don't think they're going to come up and start challenging, you know, the big four, as I'm going to call them, because they are the big four. But that's Liverpool. We're going to go into Man City. Is it? Oh, there we go. So thank you, Cole. So the women's league in America is called the National Women's Soccer League. Yeah, soccer. But anyway, yeah. So it is the WSL. I had a thought it would be like WSL. So yeah, thank you, Cole, for that. Let's get into Manchester City now. There we go. Right. Now they have had a very interesting window. So let's get on to the big talking points of who's left. 4 big names have left. You got Kira Walsh, literally signed, I think either the day or the day before the transfer deadline closed. Massive signing for Barcelona. I do believe it broke the world record for a transfer fee. They haven't disclosed it. That's fine. We all know that it's broken the transfer record. Lucy Bronze, again, these are 2 players that did so well for our women's Euros. She had already left to go to Barcelona. It was already talked about. She left in June. So she has gone. Georgia Stanway, again, left in June. She's gone to Bayern Munich. And the other one that not so many people talk about, but I still think it's a big talking point, is Caroline Weir, one of the best Scottish female internationals there is. She has gone to Real Madrid. But they haven't not replaced them. They have gone big, bringing new players in. Hazagawar has been signed from West Ham. She is very good, very talented. The next one down, I'm scared to even try and say this surname, but I'm going to try. Kasperij, I think that's what I'm going to go with. She was brought in from FC20, had a great Euros with Netherlands. Thought she was very good. Uwabi, she was one of my favourite players in the Euros for Spain. She's been brought in from Barcelona. And Castellanos, she's been brought in Atletico Madrid. Watch out for her. She looks very, very good. I never really seen her like at Atletico. I've always seen her in internationals. She looks very good. So again, Man City for me are probably one of the ones that are going to concrete top 4. Will they push the Arsenal and Chelsea? I don't know if they've done enough. I think they've weakened a little bit more than they've brought in. Personally, that's just me. You know, Kira Walsh, Lucy Bronze, and Georgia Stanway. You could see how good they were in the Euros. You know, I can't see them pushing Arsenal and Chelsea personally. But who knows? Now, this is the team. The next team is the one I'm excited about the most, I have to say. And it is Colm's favourite team. It is Manchester United. Once I can find them on my screen. There we go. Right. Now, they have had a very interesting window. But they haven't really needed to have a very interesting window either, because the 2 standout players for me at the England, apart from Beth Mead, yes, I'm an Arsenal fan, but it's my non-biased head saying it. Beth Mead is just a very exciting forward for England, full stop. She's just so good. But the other 2 that were really, really good for me was Russo and Toon. They were fantastic for this season. Those 2 are the ones to watch out for this season. They are the ones that I think could possibly make them scare the top 2. I wouldn't say they're going to break into it yet. I don't think they've done enough transfer window wise to strengthen. but I think they could actually sneak third away from City, which will please a lot of United fans because you will actually be above City for once. But I don't think they've done enough. Not yet. I think it could take a couple of years, and probably Emma Hayes to leave Chelsea because Chelsea have literally got a 12th person, which is Emma Hayes, their coach. She is fantastic. I I don't agree with her opinions all the time on the England squad lineups, but when it comes to Chelsea, she is one heck of a coach. She really is. So anyway, we're going to Manchester United ones who to look out for. Maya Letitia, signed from Brighton. She's looking good. They've also signed a Canadian in Lyon. Not the better of the Canadians, I have to say, but she's there. She's Canadian. She'll probably do decent job. Lucia Garcia, that is one heck of a mouthful, has been signed from Bilbao. Nikita Paris, as I talked about earlier with Arsenal, only had one season, didn't do much at Arsenal, to be fair. But then you can say, how are you going to get into that team? Because the team is very good at Arsenal. But she could do wonders for United. Personally, I think she probably will. Her and Russo could set up a very interesting combination. Junkara from Atletico Madrid, decent centre back. We shall wait and see. Don't think you've lost anyone that's sort of great. Oh no, what we're going to do without her? Signa Brun has gone to Lyon. That's probably about it. But as I said, you've signed Nikita Paris. I think you'll be fine. So yeah, that's Manchester United. There's Cole getting excited about the team. You have, mate, and honestly, she is. I think she's brilliant. I really do. I think she's. Beth Mead will always be my favourite, but I do have to say I got a soft spot for Ella too. She was marvellous when she came on. This is the Reading. They finished. Where did they finish? They finished 8th. Bit of a gap to Aston Villa. Won 7, drew 4, lost 11, 19 minus goal difference. Kind of, I think they're trying to pretty much go with what they got last season. They have strengthened, in my opinion. They have got a very good goalkeeper. Anyone that watched the Women's Euros, Northern Ireland, Jacqueline Burns was fantastic in goal for Northern Ireland. Saved more than she let in. I know Northern Ireland let in a lot of goals, but honestly, without Jacqueline Burns in that goal, they probably would have let in a lot more. She was very good. Lauren Wade had a decent Euros. Obviously, Northern Ireland didn't have a lot of opportunities to attack, so you wouldn't have seen the best of her there. But I think they will probably finish 7th, 8th, 9th again. I don't think they're a team to worry too much about going down. Let's get into Tottenham. Let's keep going on to different screens. So there's Tottenham, right? So they haven't done much. I think they finished 5th, if my memory serves me right. Yeah, they did finish 5th. They were 10 points behind Manchester United, though, and 5 points above the next best team, which is West Ham. They won 9, drew 5. Drew 5, lost 8. Goal difference of +1. I might have admitted that I'm an Arsenal fan. Okay, I thought this coming across as because I'm an Arsenal fan. The Tottenham women again are very similar to the Tottenham men. They just haven't got that next gear to go and actually do anything of great worth. They're not going to break into the top 4. They're going to be 5th or 6th again. They're just Tottenham. I'm sorry to say it, but they're just Tottenham. It's very weird to see the similarities in the men's and the women's game. with their teams as well. It's quite crazy, really, when you think about it. Obviously, the difference is with Reading, because obviously they're in the Super League, the men's aren't. But there is a lot of similarity with some of these women's and men's teams. Tottenham is one of them. They just can't push on enough to like be a big challenger. They are never going to be a really big club in the Women's Super League as of yet. They might. Who knows? You never know the future. But they're just not there. You know, they've had a decent window. They've strengthened. They've weakened a little bit. You know, there's no one there that's jumps out at me and gone, oh, she's a fantastic player. They're just decent players. You know, I'm going through the list through my head right now. Petzelberger, you know, she's okay. But yeah, I think maybe look out for Drew Spence, who signed from Chelsea. She didn't get much chance at Chelsea. She might be able to shine at Tottenham. But that's all I'd say about Tottenham. And that's not me being an Arsenal fan. I'm just being honest. They're not an exciting club to watch at this level. But yeah, we will wait and see. We'll wait and see. Let's get into West Ham, which are the final teams, and then we'll get into the fixtures for this weekend. Right, so West Ham, they finished 6th last season. Strength weakened more than they have strengthened. It's one of those, you look at it and you go, okay, have they strengthened enough? No. Have they weakened a bit too much? Possibly. I think they might be the team that get replaced by Liverpool. I think Liverpool might be able to push these a little bit for the 6th, the 7th places. But yeah, it's West Ham. It's very similar to the West Ham in the men's league. You know, they're just doing what West Ham do well and just keeping a good distance between them and relegation, because you don't really want to get into the relegation, because trust me, you quickly drop into the national leagues there. I think the West Ham again will finish probably 7th. Right, so let's talk about the fixtures. Right, so obviously I've talked about the situation that we've obviously has occurred in the UK, where sadly our Queen passed away. So fixtures were postponed, cancelled, however you want to put it. So the kickoff for the WSL is now going to be this weekend. Now, thankfully and luckily for me, I can watch the first game again, which is on Friday night, 7:30 kickoff. Arsenal versus Brighton. But all the fixtures for this weekend is Arsenal versus Brighton, Aston Villa versus Man City, Leicester versus Tottenham. Liverpool got one heck of a tricky first game against Chelsea. Manchester United, we'll see exactly how good they are against Reading. And then West Ham versus Everton. It's going to be an interesting weekend of football. For me, the standout game for me is actually probably going to be Liverpool-Chelsea. It's going to test to see how good this Liverpool are, and we'll work out exactly what we can expect from them this season. I will be covering it here on FTSM, so please feel free to come along, be a watch along. I think the kickoff is 7:30. I'm starting the stream at 7:20. It's going to be a very good game. Hopefully we get to see, I get to see Hurtig, and we'll get to see Mead and Blackstenius and Miedemeier at the front four. If I see them, I'm going to be well happy. Probably expecting a good, comfortable win for Arsenal as well, but we'll get into that on Friday. Right, so that is my WSL season preview. I appreciate anyone that has watched it live, Colm, solo, and anyone that will watch it back on playback. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please like and subscribe if you like our content. Now, there's things that are coming up that I can think of. Okay, so tonight we have FPL with Rebel from the Man United agenda. He will be doing a stream talking about everything fantasy Premier League. It's not my area, so I don't really know. But Rebel will be here. I think it's 8:30 tonight, talking FPL. Tomorrow we've got the Mullet Show with Oliver. Thursday we've got Friday Night Football with me doing Europa League and Europa Conference League. Then we've got Friday, we've got me doing a watch along, Arsenal Brighton. On Saturday, we also have me doing a watch along, Tottenham versus Leicester on Saturday. And then on Sunday at 6 p.m. UK time, NFL Red Zone. Need to apologise about the technical issues that we had last Sunday. Totally my fault. I just didn't connect it all correctly. Definitely sorted out for this weekend. I've checked it, double checked it, triple checked it. It's definitely working. But for now, I thank you ever all so much for watching. But for now, we are out of here and I will see you all very soon. Take care, everyone. I'm out.